All right, welcome everyone listening from all around the world, all around this beautiful blue-green planet that we call Gaia. Welcome everyone listening to here in Australia, this beautiful country, here on the Gold Coast. My name is Roberto Roja. I'm your host. Welcome to the Mystic Drop. Each week, we'll be having interesting discussions and conversations with UFO researchers, experiencers, contactees, psychics, mediums, shamans, healers, truth warriors, conspiracy theorists, artists, poetic outlaws. If it doesn't fit inside the box or outside of the lines, you'll hear it right here on the Mystic Drop. Welcome, everybody. Salute. Today, we've got a very special guest. He is a 22-year-old shaman, Reiki Master, Joseph Timpano. I like to refer him as the bearded fit dude. How you going, Joe?
Good. Thanks for having me, Rob. How are you?
No worries, brother. So 22 years old, man. Like, I remember when I was 20, I'm 33.
I look 30.
What's that?
I look 30.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, man. I've known you for a little bit now, but like, you've definitely got an old soul. Like, I remember when I was 22, man, I was like traveling around the world, running amok here, there, and everywhere. Really living it up and everything. How have you got here? 22-year-olds and you're a Reiki master. How did you get here?
I know it's just crazy, and even like how I met you is like it's just a story in itself. Like it's just an experience sort of thing. Like just like oh, so essentially what happened is I started my journey when I was about 14, 15. And I was in high school at the time. Now I was having back problems. I went to, chiros, physios, blah, 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 blah. Still nothing really worked. My mum did an NLP course with this guy that she met there and found out that he was from Albion Park, which is near around me. And he's like, oh, you should come and meet my mother. She's like a healer and whatever. So mum went, she did that. And then she decided to give it, basically refer me to her to go give it a try. So one afternoon she goes, all right, because she's literally down the road from my high school. And she goes, okay, whatever happens, just let it flow. And I'm like, okay, all right, no worries. What's going on here? Anyway, I get there and it's just like, you just feel safe. You just feel safe. You feel like you're meant to be there, sort of thing. It was just a profound experience. And I get there and we talk, and she just knows everything. Like just boom, knows everything, and then just starts saying things, and you're just like, holy shit! Like, and then something clicked inside of me. Like it just reinforced what I already had in my head, already ready to go. And I had a first session. Of Reiki, and this was Reiki. I didn't know what it was until it happened. Now she said to me, I think this was like a couple of sessions after, and then she's like, oh, you should probably, I think you need, like my guides were telling me, oh, you need to do Reiki, and I was like, yeah, stuff it, why not? Let's just give it a go. So I had trust and faith in that belief, because it's like it just felt good. There's no, if something feels good, you do not question it, and that's my belief. If it feels good, just fucking go for it. Just send it. Just absolutely just go for it.
14 years old.
That's
14 years old. It's such a young age. Like what was it in your soul that you knew this was your journey, this was your path?
It was just a feeling. It was just, okay, no worries. Now you could put it to the fact, okay, yeah, I was young and all the rest of it, you're easily persuaded, but like, there was no persuaded. It was literally just telling me what I already was. But in my conscious mind, not my subconscious mind. My subconscious mind already knew. But in my conscious mind, it needed to be flicked. That switch needed to be flicked, and then boom, that's how it sort of started. Yeah.
So before that, before this first experience, did you have certain experiences that you it wasn't a surprise to you that you went that way? Any psychic experiences, any paranormal experiences, things of past life things, anything?
There was one in particular moment, and it was in Christmas time when I was young. I don't know how young it was, maybe 5 or 6 years old. And I've always either kept this, I've always told this story to people whom I've felt comfortable with, or I've sort of like repressed it. But now, who gives a shit? It was at my grandparents' place, and I had like a little dining room and then the corridor. And it was around Christmas time, and I go down the corridor, and the corridor was pitch black and everything. And I just specifically remember seeing her. Now, this is the thing. I can't remember if it actually was Christmas time or if it was someone that was dressed up as Santa or whatever. But I just didn't make out of it. And then as a kid, you know, you always sort of repressed that thing, like, oh, you know, it's just your imagination, or it didn't happen, or blah, 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 blah. But to me, it felt real. And then now, looking at what I'm doing now, I look back at that experience and I'm like, why has that in particular experience stayed with me? Why? There's so many more memories, but why is that one a highlight? And it was, now I've just done it and be like, that was a guide. That was me seeing something. That was something coming into my experience, into my reality. And so I ended up working up with the, recently, this was actually very recent. I ended up working with my Reiki Master, and we were sort of doing like spiritual counseling sort of thing. And so what that memory was, because it was just so always playing up in there, was as a young person, as a young me, my voice was suppressed because I couldn't speak my truth of what I saw because I wasn't believed. So therefore, my thing of actually talking to people and not being heard or believed is kind of like, that's just carried forward. But now it's like, especially with everything going on now I'm like, I need to say something, the truth. I need to speak the truth. Yeah. And that's one highlight of an experience that I had prior. But now it's like you get days where it's nothing. Some days you get everything up all at once, and it's just fantastic.
Hey, that's amazing. And it's so interesting how I've had my own experience, and it sort of all starts when we're really young, you know, as you said, when you're a little kid. And I think
they say like 7, like under the age of 7, because
exactly,
you're least impressionable. But after that, then it all just starts to
it's fresh, isn't it? Because we've just come from that spirit realm, you know, and so everything, as you said, it's fresh, it's still there, and we're so tapped into it. Before we continue, this is our first episode, ever, and you're the first time guest ever. I totally forgot.
It's an honor. It's an honor.
I totally forgot. We've got to do the mystic drop clause that you have to accept before we continue. Yeah. All right. So
okay,
you ready for the clause? Are you ready for the clause? Okay.
Yep.
We are two cosmic spiritual beings sitting around the fireplace. Truth is our path, and wisdom is our teacher. We start with a salute.
Salute.
And we're going to end as amigos.
Hey.
You accept?
Yes, I accept.
Bravo.
Bene.
Oh, I totally forgot to do that at the beginning. But anyway,
no, that's interesting.
We live and learn. We live and learn.
So that's a very, I love that imagery of a cosmic being sitting around a fireplace, because traditionally you sit around a fireplace and you just talk anything and everything, whether you're drunk or sober, like just things, magic happens around a fireplace. And that's just, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
It's where it all started, you know, story times, you know, all the ancient tribes around the earth, sitting around that fireplace, telling, you know, stories and everything about, you know, where we've come from, who we are, all those questions. That's where it's all started from. So I thought it was a very, you know, a cool thing to do with guests at the beginning of each show.
Well, speaking of clauses, like I've got my ethos that, funnily enough, I got a little journal that I used to write all my thoughts and channel writings through. And I had these 7 questions, which was really funny because I only just picked it up the other day. I had these 7 questions that I wrote probably 6-7 months ago, but I never answered them. Not yesterday, the day before, I sat out on the deck, and I answered these questions, and I was like, wow, like my state of mind. So I remember writing these questions and how I felt, and now answering these questions now, I'm like, it's just amazing the change of consciousness that you can have in 6 months.
Yeah.
And it's wow. And so I was reading through, and I had written an ethos for myself. And then I've rewritten it again. So I'd like some people to hear, if that's all right, Rob.
Yeah, go for it, man.
So my ethos is what I believe. I believe in myself, my thoughts, my guides, and my purpose. Through my purpose, I inspire others to do the same. Through doing the same as they begin to heal themselves. Through healing themselves, they heal the world. I am here in service not only to myself, but to others. I allow abundance to flow freely and accept all life lessons that come into my reality. I manifest my desires into reality because I am in control of my thoughts and emotions. I am source. I access the abundant source of universal knowledge each and every day to become more and more enlightened. Through love, I become who I am meant to be. I become fearless, loving, kind, smart, and compassionate. I'm driven towards my goals, and life flows freely through me. The universe supports me, and as I always will, with love and kindness. I give thanks to those that have come before me to share their knowledge, and I acknowledge their sacrifice. Namaste. Many thanks, many blessings.
Peace, brother. I love that. I love that. When did you write that again?
I wrote that the 15th of the 7th, 2 days ago.
2 days. Beautiful. Love it. I love how all these little spurts of inspiration can just come to us, and it's
the best part
makes
is
what life is about.
I've had multiple conversations with people, and then like through my card readings and stuff, and they're like, how do you do that? And I'm just like, do you want the long version or the short version? Like, it's
being a shaman, healer, a mystic, we've all got that creative gene spirit within us anyway, so whether we filter that through writing, through painting, through music, sometimes all of the above, that's where we really shine, and I can see that in your words right there as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to jump in the deep end here. So, what is
balls first or head first?
Sorry.
Balls first or head first?
Both, mate. Both. Jump in. Everything together. So, what does being a healer mean to you?
That's a good question. What healing is for me is I do jack shit. So that's all it is. I don't heal your problems. The shaman or the healer doesn't heal your problems. You heal your own problems, because by you going to see someone, that is you taking that initiative to saying, okay, I need to do this. Now, all we do is we just basically, it's like a lightning rod. We just touch it up and then we just bring it down. That's it. We don't do it. We don't do anything. We're merely just that middleman, but we have no commission. And that's it. And by you continuously doing that work, like towards yourself, you heal yourself. Now, whether it's a specific thing that you are going there to get healed, or you're just trying it out, and then you've noticed an aspect of your life that has actually been, healed or improved or whatever. So it's just, that sort of flow that people, sometimes don't realize.
For people that don't know, what is Reiki? What is the art of Reiki?
So the art of Reiki is the universal life force energy. That's what Reiki, if you break it down, Rei and Ki, stands for, universe and life force energy. And everything is energy around us. It is everything. If you want to look at it at a scientific point of view, science says that all matter is 99.999999 part empty space. It's only our reality of what we can see is what makes it look solid, blah, 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 blah. Now, of that space and all those molecules and atoms and all the rest, they're a constant state of vibration. So everything is constantly vibrating, constantly giving off energy. This pen, this, everything's in a constant state of vibration.
Yep.
And that is what the universe, life force is. And what it is we break it down from consciousness, from the universe, and all we're doing is flowing it through, because all of energy and all energy healing is based on vibrations and frequencies. And for, like, if you haven't been to a Reiki session or anything, for any of you listening, or or you've had one, is when you're lying there, you're changing your mental state. You're changing that frequency that you're on, because if you're really stressed, you're going to try and calm that down, because if you're stressed, then you're always blocked and you're not as open to receiving that healing that you need. And so it's just energy flowing it to where it needs to go, and that's all it is. Everything is about a flow. So,
what's some of your favorite techniques to use when healing somebody, especially?
Well, this is where it gets fun, right? So with anything, you can do things by the book, or you can do it the way you've been taught, or you follow it, everything, or you just dive head in, balls in, everything. So the way I was taught, because I had 3 different teachers, each one I learned something different, and so from that I had to take away which aspects I liked, which aspects I didn't. I really enjoyed my second teaching, because it was a bit more interactive. So Reiki level 2 was a bit more interactive and pretty fun, because I actually got to do it with someone else. It was 2 people, so myself and someone else that was doing the course as well at the same time. And she fed us, so I was like, hell yeah, free food. And
of course, you're Italian, you love your food.
Yeah, of course. I love free food. And then my third one, it was like that final step, and it was more of a connection than anything else, like to get that final attunement. Anyway, but my mentor, she wasn't actually a Reiki master. She was a clairvoyant. She was a healer. She was just amazing. She was just one of those people that could just do it, and all through intuition, all through her life experiences, everything. All she did was just listen to spirit, listen to the universe. So she taught me things what she did, and because the way that she was explaining it to me and how I am is because I'm a quick learner. The way how my mental state is and how high I vibrate and all the rest of it, I can do shortcuts. Now I can't do too many shortcuts, because then you don't learn the fundamentals. But my favorite technique is when someone's on the table, is I just go with the flow. Just start just pushing and pulling the energy, seeing where it's stagnant, seeing where we're going, and basically just close my eyes and just let spirit do it. I'm not doing it. I'm just going like this, like that. Sometimes people can say, oh, did you have my hand on your, did you have your hand on my leg or whatever? And I'm like, no, I never touched you. So they can feel that. And I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and I was like, oh, when I do my treatments, without even knowing the person or specifics about them, I'd be like, so how long has your left knee been hurting or whatever? Because I'll either be able to feel it on my knee, or I start to feel it in my hands and I get shaky or whatever. So it's just that's really fun to me. So those techniques, I just do basic ones, like the basic Reiki ones that you learn.
Yep.
And then others you just I'll let you take control for a little bit. Pretty much, you just gotta have faith in that.
Does this go over one session, or is it multiple sessions that a person needs to have, or is it completely up to that certain individual?
It's up to that certain individual. It could take one treatment, it could take a couple, it could just take one a month, depending on where you're at and how where you're at, how quickly you want to do it, how much effort you're going to put into yourself to actually get over the shit that you've put yourself into, because that's the reality. You've put yourself into it. You can't blame anyone else. And yeah, you just pretty much go from there.
Yep. Sweet. I know you like to work with tarot cards. So that's where your clairvoyancy comes into it. What's the most mystical experience you've had with working with tarot cards and the spirit realm? So 2 questions.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, spirit realm one. So just before I moved back home, I was sitting on the beach. And I went for a swim, and I had a little meditation. And as I'm sitting there, my hands just start moving. Like, and I just get this picture of someone that's having like surgery for underneath their like the lower part of their body. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't know anyone that's going for surgery, but anyway, yeah. Continue. And in my head, I had someone's nephew in mind, because he was very sick, because it was like one or two. But while he was in the room, he was actually having a strong connection to me. Like, we would talk and all the rest of it. And it was just amazing, because like what it looks like on the outside is completely different to what it actually means in here, and then like in spirit. Anyway, and I was just like, I just gave someone a healing without even knowing them. But I said that to my mentor, and she goes, you're on that frequency. So you didn't specifically like sort of heal someone. You were on that frequency of someone needing some healing.
Wow.
And you pick up on that, and they could have been on the fucking other side of the world, and I didn't even know them. And but that was it. So that was like a profound experience for me. And I was just like, holy crap.
And how does it make you feel when you have those sort of deep connections and ability to heal someone in that fashion without even being there with them, but it's totally on another level?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like, for sure. Like, I'm just like I got a big smile on my face. Like, after that,
I can see it.
And you're just like, yeah. Like, I don't do it for praise. I don't do it for ego. I don't do it for anything. It's just like, yeah, like just to have it in the back of your head, sort of thing. Like, it's just amazing, like what people can do.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's such a special thing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Like, and it was. I think it made it even better because I was not expecting it. It just came. It just happened, and I was just like, yeah, okay, no worries. Like, it doesn't scare me.
It's part of your journey. It's part of your journey, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And like, for instance, for the tarot cards, I got my deck.
I was actually going to tell you to bring them. I've seen those babies before.
This is my favorite deck. They don't make them anymore.
I'm actually getting there, so just keep them there, and we'll we're getting there. We're getting there. So you're skipping ahead there, man.
But with that, no, that's all right. But with my tarot experience, when I just do it, like, just quickly, one of the experiences I've had is I've just shuffled, and then boom, I've had 2 cards fall out, and I was like, oh no, I'll put it back in, shuffle. Well, sorry, I look at those 2 cards, put them back in, shuffle. One of the cards that had fallen out previous, I had managed to pull it back. Like, how? Like, it just blows my mind. And that is a confirmation. I'm like, okay, yep, I don't question it again. I'm like, okay, if it's come out twice, boom. And that's the skill that I'm developing as well. So yeah, that's one of the experiences I've had. And
you never stop learning, do you? You never get to a point where I know everything. It doesn't happen.
Yeah. Well, once you stop learning, you're dead. There's no point living, essentially, because if you're not learning, then you're not expanding your knowledge. And if you're not expanding your knowledge, then you don't have a drive to, what's next? What else can I do? What else can I become?
Well, this is another reason why I've been wanting to do this for so long. And I think I've come to a point in my life now where before I kept experiencing. And now I want to share that with the world and have interesting people like you come on and share that sacred knowledge with everyone. So again, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. So I want to move on with the afterlife. What the
Oh, okay, yeah.
in your own words, in your own mind, your heart, your spirit, what does the afterlife look to you?
I think it's a cycle. So kind of like incarnation, but different, right? So there's this lady called Dolores Cannon.
Love her.
She's
Love
passed.
her,
Yeah,
loved her work.
and one of her messages that was channeled was how we actually come into this world, and it's so fascinating. It's kind of like a sci-fi thing, and that's what makes it, so good
It's all
to believe.
connected,
It's
eh?
like, yeah, exactly. So before you come into this conscious life, you are a soul, and you're sitting up in there in heaven or consciousness or universe or whatever you want to call it, and you are shown everything that is going to happen in your life, every major, every minor detail, just everything. But before you come down into this life, is you go through this fog or mist, and it just basically wipes your memory. Now, for me, what that means is that is the reason why we're here, to experience things. And that's the whole purpose. Because if you know everything that's going to happen, you remember everything that's going to happen, which kind of ties into deja vu a little bit, because maybe the fog didn't wipe everything, and that's where you get that, holy shit, I have experienced that before, sort of thing. And then we die, and then because once you die, you become a soul, and you go onto that plane, and you are pure. There's nothing. Your soul is your soul. And then you die, and then you just come back as that cycle, and you sort of fill the gaps where things need to go.
And where I'm going with this is that in between stage of coming back to this physical realm, and while you're in the spirit realm, how does that world look like to you?
That looks like to me, because I was
From
having
your
a
own psychic
conversation
and
with
spiritual memories.
Yeah, I was having I had a brief conversation with someone again the other day. I'm having so many conversations. It's funny. And she's a nurse, and she dealt with one of like a deceased person like that day, and she asked me the question like, "What do you think happens when we die?" And I gave her that explanation, but then I also said to her too, like, after we die, we either go straight back, or we stay around and help someone that we need to.
Yeah.
Because that aspect of your life, you didn't fulfill, or someone, not that you didn't fulfill, but you need to help someone, and that was your role in that life, but you didn't actually complete it. So you got to help them. Like you become like an angel or a spirit or whatever. So you help that person. That's that's my sort of belief. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. You just mentioned angels. I've got a question here about angels. Why are angels so important, especially in like tarot cards? I know you've got a few angels in your tarot cards and your healing work and everything. Why are they so important to us?
Ooh. They are okay. Yep. So they're kind of like not the workers, but they're the light servants of that realm. So we're the servants of this realm, but the angels, they're the servants of their realm. So their sole duty is to help.
That's a beautiful.
So their sole duty is to help us and to guide us, because they don't have to deal with the conscious mind, which is what we get put through every single fucking day. As beautiful as it is. But they don't have to deal with that. So they're just soul beings, light beings, and they just come down and they help. And that's their role. And they're there for support. Like guardian angel. Like that saying, like, you're my guardian angel, or I've been saved by guardian angel. So that's what their role is.
Have you ever had any like major real experiences with an interaction with an angel, or someone that you've come across where you've gone, hang on a minute, this person doesn't seem from here? You know what I mean? You know what I mean when I'm saying that?
Yeah. I guess for me, it's those people that you just meet during your day, and like you look at them and they just end up having a conversation with you, and you're there for like an hour or whatever, and you're just like, wait, where did this person come from? Like, I never met you before in my life, and we're having this deep conversation. Like, You know what I mean? Like, it's just those people, or at least maybe they set you up to meet an angel later. But I can't remember if I've ever had an experience like that per se. The only angel sort of experiences that I've had are through like my healing sessions, and like Archangel Michael comes through, Gabrielle or whatever, like during that healing session. So yeah, other than that, I haven't really had any really profound experiences.
You're still young, man. You're only 22.
Yeah, see, exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, it was when, like, how we were saying, like that age of 7, like below 7.
Yeah.
My friend's nephew, you know how kids go like this, and they're just looking up, and you're like,
I know what you mean.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're
well,
just
me,
like, what are you doing?
me and Kat, we just had our first baby girl, as you know. And when she was born,
congratulations.
she'd just look up and just
Yep.
stare. She's looking at something. Someone is there.
You
And
don't
again,
have
that goes back to what we were
Yeah,
saying
you don't-
before. They've just come from that spirit realm, so they've still got that cord connection that hasn't been cut off yet.
And that's what, like I will see that, like I'll look at the kicks. Obviously, they've got a stronger connection, so you can sort of tap into that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you just look, and then you can't help but smile because of just that joy, and it's just like, and that's like, you have a connection to kids more, because you've got that understanding that other adults won't have, because they've just either cut it off or it's not as strong. And you just look at them and you just have like your own conversation with them. It's like, I see him too, buddy, or whatever.
So
it's fantastic.
I want to shift gears a little bit here. We're living in a world right now that seems to be a lot of darkness, but I think because there's a lot of light coming in, and so the darkness is enhanced. We're in a particular time in history where things are changing. I believe we're in a new renaissance, where massive people are waking up. What in your mind, where do you see all this going? Where are we right now?
Look, it's hard to sort of stay positive when you're listening to so much fear, and you can see so much fear in people's eyes, and off the poison TV box and all the rest of it. But without, and as weird as this is to say, but without the darkness, there cannot be any light. Because without, and the same with disease, if we had no disease, we wouldn't have the need for healers. We wouldn't have the need to come into this world. And so that gives us purpose. And this is the same thing like what's going on now. This is giving us purpose. This is giving us the chance to find out who we really are. Like, we need to be resilient. We need to be resistant. We need to think. We need to critically think. We need to stay true to who we are. We need to take a step out and take a step back and find out who we are, who we want to be. And so the way I see this is going is, yes, I do agree with you. It's a lot more people are waking up. The system is falling apart because there's only so much longer it can hold together. Because light will always overcome, and that's the thing. And we always go through these cycles because it's a shift in consciousness. That's what I was trying to get at. It was a shift in consciousness. And when I first started this journey, that's how my mentor explained to me. There's people, living in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th dimension. And everyone pretty much below, the 4th and 3rd dimension or 3rd dimension are just, the people that are asleep. They're just here to just get by day. And that's it. There's nothing for them. There's nothing for their consciousness to actually expand. For them, it's just that. Now, then you've got people like you and me that are above, like living in those different dimensions, but we can't do anything because these people won't come up with us. And that's the thing. But now we're starting to get that shift through consciousness. And there's people that need to be on every level, because you need to always look up to strive up, to go up. And it's not a way of belittling people, not at all. It's everyone's on their own journey, and all the rest of it. However, that's why we're here to be an example. And that's what I said before, like in my ethos, I don't heal anyone. I heal myself. And through healing myself, I'm the example that they can do it too. So in the way that I see this is going is that we will win. It'll probably be a one hard fucking battle, but that is how we create strong people. And that is why we're here. Because if not, then what else are we supposed to do here?
It's not going to be handed to us on a silver platter. You know, we've got to fight for it, but like we've always done back in the day.
And that's what creates gratitude.
That's right. That's right, my friend. Oh man, I'm loving this conversation. This is amazing. I'm getting so much out of it. I'm drunk. I'm just, you know. It's the weekend. It's the weekend. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so, and I love that day drinking. It's yeah. I'm a dad now, so it works out better.
It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine in lockdown.
That's it. All right. So, what advice would you give to upcoming or people that are thinking of going into this sort of field of becoming a healer or going into Reiki, shamanic work? What advice would you give to them?
Fucking do it. If that's what your heart tells you, if that's what you've always been drawn to, go and do it. Because at the end of the day,
so simple.
If your soul is calling it, you need to go and do that. You cannot deny it. As much as you push it down, repress it, there is no denying. You might as well give it a go, because there's nothing bad that can happen. The only good that's going to happen is that you better yourself, and you take a step forward and be like, okay, shit, I need to really work on a few aspects of my life. And this is what's going to get me to be happy and joyful. The other point is find a mentor that you are comfortable with. Now, if it takes like having a chat or you know, messaging them on Instagram or whatever, say, hey, I love your work, I really want to get into it, how do I do it? Just go through that way. When I was, and this was the interesting part, when I was looking who I want to be a student to for a Reiki Master, I had called up one lady and she said, oh, well, because I hadn't done 1 and 2 with her, she doesn't know where I'm up to. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, no worries. And then the Reiki teacher that I work with, she was like, yeah, no worries. Now I told my mentor about that lady that said, you know, I don't know, whatever. She said to me, that is bullshit, because when the student is ready, that's when the teacher will appear. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
it's like, who are you to deny someone, like, sorry, not having a go at it, but who, like, why would you deny someone who's eager to learn?
There you go.
And that's advice to someone who wants to teach people as well. Like, don't deny someone that wants to learn, because we don't need to withhold knowledge.
Yeah.
Because knowledge is power. And the more people that have knowledge, and every different person has different thinking. So through that same knowledge, people can apply that differently. And that's how we get better ideas and all the rest of it.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, don't be scared. Just do it. Listen to your intuition. Always be like that. Always listen to that intuition.
That's great advice, brother. When times get down, like when you get down sometimes, where do you go for inspiration?
Well, like, it's hard not to get down being a energetic being or someone spiritual or like that, because we're so connected to the planet. We're so connected to other people's emotions. But the funny thing is that 90% of our emotions and feelings aren't our own, because we're all part of this one consciousness. And if you look up Dr. Dane here and Dr. Gary, oh God, I can't remember his last name. Damn it, they're part of and they're part of Access Consciousness. And what they do a fantastic job of giving the tools to people in their lives to help change their mentality, change their mindset, change the reality of which they want to live in. So using those tools, that's how I got myself out. And one of the tools was good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nines, shorts, boys, and beyond. Now, if you want that explanation, you can head onto his YouTube channel and he explains it pretty well. But basically, it's a clearing statement of that energy. And so every time you feel down, you just need to get that out. You got to get that out. Another point when I'm low is I will literally go outside, take my socks off, put my feet into the earth, and just sit there or stand there. Or I'll even lie down and just close my eyes, because when you're feeling down, it's because you're disconnected.
Yeah,
you're disconnected from the earth, because your thoughts are so up there that you need to be pulled back down and to have that sort of not reality check, but like to keep you like that. So yeah, it's like there's no argument that you don't have bad days, but it's how you deal with them. That's what makes you who you are.
Yep. What's the most important lesson you've learned so far in this life, anyway?
The more you know, the more you're worth. And that's something my mum has always said and always taught us, is that the more you know, the more you're worth, because no one is going to appreciate you if you can't bring something to the table. And it's not even only just for that reason, it's for your own reason. It's for your own self-esteem, like to know that you can do something or you can apply yourself to different areas is something just like that. And the biggest one too is you just got to trust your intuition. Like how many times I've made a mistake, or not even a mistake, I've learned a lesson because I didn't listen to myself. And I was like, yeah, not even like anything big. Like I'm like, oh, maybe I should turn here. Nah, it's all right. Nah, it's all right. Just follow the GPS. Follow GPS. Excuse me. And you're stuck behind traffic, and you're like, damn, I knew I should have turned there. You know what I mean? Like just those little things in practicing that, because that's a skill and it's like a muscle. You got to keep going, keep going, keep going. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. As you said, I'm pretty young, so I've still got a lot more lessons to be learned and to be shared. But those are probably like the two that I will always stick with, and also do something because you love it, not because someone told you to do it. Now, I know that's cliche, but love is one of the most powerful emotions. Like if by you doing something through love can just take everything like to the next step. Like I've told so many people that, because I'm a massage therapist as well, that I will do it for free. And on occasions I actually do, because it's just my service to others. That's just me. And that's how I feel like fulfill myself, sort of thing. And I love what I do.
That's beautiful, brother. That's beautiful, man. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Where can people go to find out more about you, to have a healing session with you, to book in, to find out, just in general more about who you are?
Yeah. So you can go to my Instagram page, Bearded Fit Dude, on Instagram. If you want to message me, you can. If you want to ask any questions, no worries. I do weekly sort of tarot readings as well for people. That's just my other little service as well. And just an excuse to practice, I guess. So if you want a little reading, you can come check out that way. And yeah, and probably through this as well, through Robbie.
Well, when I post this, I'll put all the links down below so people can track you down.
Also, yeah.
Not in a creepy way.
It'll be a fun experience. It'll be a fun experience.
No worries.
Look, if you're going to come to my window at 3:00 in the morning, at least bring food. You can at least do something nice to them like that.
Love it, man. All right, I'd like to play a little game. Like we're nearly at the end here. It's called "What Do You Hear? What Do You Say?" From the quotes from Sopranos. Good old Paulie Walnuts. So I thought I'd implement it into the show.
Why not?
So just in even one word, few words, up to you. I'll I'll ask you a few questions and hit it up, okay, in the best way you can. What's your take on UFOs? Everything going on at the
They
moment.
exist.
What's going on at the moment? We've got the UAP, well, they're calling it UAPs now. The report just came out. The Navy's, the Navy, the US government, they're saying they're real. They're saying they don't know what they are. What's going on in your opinion?
I think this is a perfect time for them to start saying that, like, they admit that they are, because of all the stuff that's going on at the moment. It's a perfect decoy. So if they said yes and all this stuff wasn't going on, then it would just absolutely blow up more than what it already is. But they're real. They've been coming since like ages. You look at ancient civilizations and you're like, how did they make all this stuff? How did they build all this stuff? Now, whether that was through spiritual guidance or out of world, off planetary assistance and all the rest of it, who knows? But they are real, and they do exist, because you cannot have a universe without them, without different species, different things, everything. And time, like in that sense, is they could have been here for billions of years, even though we've only been here for what, like our system has only been here for 7 billion, but we've only come into fruition in the last couple 100,000 years.
Yeah, that's true. And we've only had we've only had real technology for maybe 100 years. Like before that, it was fire and horses and carts.
Yeah, exactly. No, 100%. Yep, they're real.
If you could travel back in time in history, where would you go and why?
Ooh, back in time. Ooh. See, it's a interesting. I'd probably rather go. Actually, you know what? No, I wouldn't go back in time. I'd probably go back in time when the Aztecs. Was it the Aztecs or no? When Atlantis was around. If what you accept in that, because like the Atlanteans, the Lemurians, everything, all of that is just crazy, because they were so spiritually connected, and then now that history has been erased or very repressed. So yeah, that's where I'd go. You'd learn so much from them.
I'm sure we had a life there, mate.
100%.
Together. All right. So this is another one here. You've got two options. You have to pick between the two. Okay, just random. Go with your heart.
Pizza.
Godfather, The Godfather.
Yep.
Or Back to the Future trilogies. Which one would you pick?
Look, I haven't seen any Godfathers. I know it's like that's disrespectful to our culture. I know.
All right. However, do you realize what's going to happen now? This weekend,
yeah,
you gotta spend get some pizza, get a bottle of wine, and watch 1, 2, and 3.
2 and 3.
and then
but look,
message me, get back to me, and tell me your answer.
But I would actually pick The Godfather over Back to the Future. It just makes more sense. It seems a bit more cinematically correct to pick that.
That's a good answer. Safe answer. All right. Einstein or Tesla?
Tesla, 100%.
Love it.
100%. There's so much. Oh yeah. So much knowledge that has been hidden away from him, like because of him. Oh, we wouldn't be living in this world today. Like we'd be living a different life if he was still around. If they didn't,
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. It'd be totally different. The whole system would be totally different. What do we got here? Crop circles or Bigfoot?
Crop circles. Because I've seen a lot of posts on Insta. Like the crop circles are actually sort of like they match like designs on computers and stuff. Like they look like designs rather than just random shit.
Yeah. I'm
essentially.
fascinated by. I want to get a crop circle researcher on the show, and
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I think it's a beautiful communication. Whoever's doing it, like I'm talking about the real ones, not man-made ones. I think it's a beautiful
Keep
communication
going.
to us, and
Yeah.
yeah, they're trying to tell us something. They're trying to tell us something big time that touches the deepest part of us with that geometry. But anyway,
exactly.
moving on. Where am I? Joe Rogan or the Dalai Lama?
Dalai Lama.
Cool. I like it.
Dalai Lama. I haven't really listened to a lot of Joe Rogan in terms of like reaching like new heights of like spirituality and consciousness and stuff. Yeah.
Britney Spears or Beyonce?
Can I say neither?
Okay, no worries.
They're both just, yeah.
All right. Michael Jackson or Frank Sinatra?
Michael Jackson. Have to go Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. Okay. Pizza or pasta?
Pizza.
Oh, that's a big
Pineapple
one.
belongs on pizza.
That's a big one. Bruce Lee or Muhammad Ali?
Bruce Lee.
Good. Nice. Batman or Superman?
Batman.
What do we got here? Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat? Because I know you're a gamer. I know you're a gamer. Why Mortal Kombat?
I don't know. I just feel like it's come a long way. Like there's been like a level. Well, there's been so many, and just like the graphics, the play, the story, like everything. It's just awesome.
We'll have to have an episode on just gaming, I think.
Games.
Because I know you're a big gamer. All right. Here's another gamer. Sonic or Super Mario?
Super Mario.
Mario, okay. What else we got? Princess Di or Mother Teresa?
Princess Di. Mother Teresa was actually a thingy trafficker.
A what? A what trafficker?
A thingy trafficker. I don't want to say
right.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, one of those. She was actually one of those ones. So yeah, that goes down the rabbit hole as well.
Wow,
so,
I don't know about this conspiracy.
Yeah, no, yep, that's.
Wow. Okay, I'll have to look into this. You've just
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it makes sense.
Wow.
Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I've got to check this one out, brother.
Yeah.
It has been an absolute pleasure and honor.
Thank you for having me.
Having you on this show. You're the first guest. I've had a ball, man.
Hopefully I'll be back.
100% you'll be back. We'll go down the rabbit hole further and further down.
I love it. No worries. Thanks for having me, and have a good one.
No worries, brother. You take care, huh?
Blessings.
Hello.
Love and light.
This is the Mystic Drop. I'm Roberto Roja, your host. Joe,
With the
bearded fit dude. Love yous all.
Jojo Mojo.
Love you, brother. Take care.
I love you too, man.
Ciao,
You too.
ciao.
Ciao.